Shalom, shalom, brothers. It's Brother Kamal Mahar here, back at it again. First thing first, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahava Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders learning his truth from. Blessings to the Akiman there preaching his word with wholehearted sincerity. Blessed to the 144,000, one-third entirely. The first fruits kingdom of heaven, as a David that b'yaf that would die. And shalom to you, brothers out there speaking different tongues and looking different nations. Shalom to you, brothers. So today, brothers, I would say this is a very special video. A video that I haven't gone in for a while. I'm not even sure why I didn't. This is spiritual power. Something that's extremely important to me and very dear to my heart. Mainly because spiritual power was literally what the Lord used to lure me in. So quick testimonial, which I have said before, but it's been a while, so I'll bring it up again. One day, when I was in the world still, the first thing that I ever encountered when it came to Hebrew Israelites was my brother Shalawamya. And we was about to go into a LA Fitness park, to LA Fitness, and we was going to work out as brothers. It was three of us. Actually, the same brothers you see me with on the Hobbies and Hedges. Ain't that something? The brother Shalawamya, which is my younger biological brother. Well, they both are my younger one, but he's my first younger biological brother. He came across the Israelites himself. That's all spirit and power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, but not even he was saying, yo, we the Israelites, yo, you know what I mean? He's real excited about it. He was like really raving on we the Israelites. Now, when he first said Israelites, I did not know what that was. But when he explained, Moses and the people would spread through walking through the Red Sea with the waters, separate themselves, and the Israelites had, was delivered out of Egypt. I have heard of that. You know what I mean? I've heard of that. And he was like, yo, it's us, it's our people. You know what I mean? He didn't say like Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians. I think he might have, but long story short, I was not receptive to it at all. Like I was like, that's what's up. But then did like typical, how our people really are. Like, do not consider type. Like Isaiah, the first chapter. I was also really heavy on smoking weed at the time. And I smoked weed like super crazy. Like I was blowing some hard body. Like I was going at it. Like, typical brother or typical person smoking weed a lot. You know what I mean? That's what we do. What was very interesting about me is that was the first time I heard of Hebrew Israelites. So that was like, like the first, the first little shootout to me thing. Right after that, what's very not unique, but what's really big with me is I'm actually really big on, Marvel, DC, Dragon Ball Z I'm really a huge fan of Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo, and Krillin, and Broly, and, all that goes with it. And I really love power itself. My favorite characters in Marvel is the Hawk. What's so great about the Hawk, like a lot of characters are, but Hawk is just like the one, my favorite. Super strong, is fast, can jump really far. His balls is the deal for me. And then on the DC side, I really, really like Flash. I love super speed. So superhuman strength is like, I would say second. But I'm already naturally fast, so I gravitate to super speed the best. Like I love the speed of Flash and how that works. So one day, in my algorithm on my YouTube, my algorithm is like, it will periodically come up with some Flash type of stuff. Dragon Ball Z is really big. Like I like watching old fights in Dragon Ball Z. Don't get tired of it. I'm just always, Marvel fight scenes, of different movies like Captain America, Civil War, you know, the Avengers Endgame, you know, Justice Leagues, and you know, different fight scenes in general that has to do with, you know, power. So my algorithm is real, you know, all over the place when it comes to power in general. All right, so I'm getting to my point. It's a little background on who I am more further. So one day while smoking weed, I don't know if you brothers are familiar, like, you know how when a Marvel movie comes up and it comes like Marvel up to your face, and then depending on what character is being portrayed in the movie, as Marvel is coming on, it's flickering in comics of different heroes inside the Marvel sign. Like it flickers with different people all the time. It'd be Hulk, it'd be Iron Man, it'd be a flickering. This one brother named Menatazak Bunyamyan, you brothers can follow him. He's super big on spiritual power. He drops a video on spiritual power or the kingdom of heaven almost every day. It's very edifying. It's very entertaining. It's comfort. It's you know, visual. His visuals are amazing. It's just spot on. It's just dope how the brother has the gift of making these videos. I look forward to him. It's so many I've seen. Even sometimes it's the same precepts, but then the way he's making his visuals and the background of how Yahweh will sound or Yahweh Shai will. Awesome. Name is Menatazak Bunyamyan. Okay. He did a very similar style of those Marvel things. So what he was able to do was he was able to manipulate the concept of Marvel's introduction, the flickering in like the Marvel, and it would be like the flickering concept of comics, but like it would say 144,000. I didn't even know what that was. So he would have like these really awesome like hip hop, like really like I would say not gangster, but like a real like, yeah, kind of like a gangster beat type of instrumental in the background with like a really strong, powerful, mean sounding voice reading the scriptures, going into spiritual power, which I didn't know at the time. And he was able to manipulate certain movie scenes and other creative type of scenes that I've never seen before, and manipulate it, making so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Seminole Indian people like they had power and shooting out laser beams and flying. And then he will like, you know, bring up like Hancock with Will Smith, or he'll like bring up Luke Cage or a Black Panther. He will have these little references, and then there'll be other clips that I've never seen before that's like regular style Jakes with powers and all types of stuff doing. And it'll be like these manipulated scenes where, you know, is so-called Negro people, you know, chaining up white people and getting revenge and just taking over the world, and like Brightburn, and adding a lot of stuff into it. Like, oh my gosh. It was incredible when I first seen it. I didn't even know what I was watching. Now, the first one I saw was pretty much like, it was just very, very creative and very interesting. I was like, yo, that was awesome. So I clicked on another one. And then as I started watching one or two of them, I started hearing what it was saying. Like, you know, Isaiah 40 and Isaiah 40 and 31, Isaiah 41, where I'll make a new threshing instrument having teeth, you know, things of that nature, which I'll bring out these precepts. You know, King David's mighty men, you know, all these, while this is going on, you know, in the day the Lord shall be like a thief in the night, and I shall get my vengeance with my people Israel, like Ezekiel, 25 and 14, I believe, or something like that, 21 of those. You know, just, what's it, Jeremiah 51 and 19, whereas I will use my, and I will use thee as a breaking the nations and the armies, and oh my gosh, like, it was just, and with thee would I smite the nations, and with thee would I, you know, it was incredible. Man, I was hooked. I was hooked, brothers. Like I was next to like yo, it got to a point where like I would go to work smoking weed, listening to like these videos, and like I would drive there listening to them. I will put headphones in while working. I will get a break. I would smoke weed again, and like I was obsessed. Like I was like all I wanted to do was to get a break. And especially when I got home, I made sure I got some more weed. I made sure I had weed coming home. And I made sure when I got in the crib, before I did anything, I rolled up a nice 2 fat L's or something. And I made sure I sat down, glued the headphones in my head to watch these spiritual power videos. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And then after a while, I started understanding like, okay, Israelites. Okay, this is what this was. And it was tagged to what my brother was talking about at the LA Fitness parking lot. And then that was when 2 and 2 was going together. And then I started learning about the 144,000 and then like their specialness. And then it was like, oh, I would love to be one of those. And then the rabbit hole, started building itself, where I started, really getting to the fact that now I can correlate spiritual power and Israelites. And then at first I was like Ahia and Yahushua and stuff like that. And I was following IUIC. It was a beginning process. And then I end up Lord to Yahweh and Yahushua, and then the apostles of GMS, Apostle Tahar. And I went through like a super rabbit hole, like research, like glued to the scripture. Like I was like glued. Every day I look forward to coming home and just investigating more about what the hell is going on and how is spiritual power related to these people and who they are and what's the connection and where they came from. And there you go. And there you go. That's my story on how I end up coming on this side as an Israelite. And then I learned, Isaiah 4:1 was next, because it was women and I wanted to know more about that than the wives. And then, it just snowball effect from there. And then that's how I became an Israelite. And then from there, I was just like, I pretty much embraced it. And I was like, I'm one of them. And I was just like, then you learn about the kingdom of heaven. And then, oh man, it was just like the honey of the scriptures was strong enough for me to get into it. And then when the bitter came, I was able to deal with it because the honey was so much more stronger. Like I understand repenting. I understood, what it takes on this side, what you got to give up, following the law, statutes, commandments, best of your ability, the change that you got to take as a man in order to be in this truth. I knew a little something. I started learning about that, and that was what it was. So that's how I became an Israelite, through spiritual power. Now, let me go to some things let me go into some scriptures regarding spiritual power that was just like, I never knew was in here. And it was like future prophecy and things of that nature that, brothers is going to get these powers in general. One of the best ones, I'm just going to go to the jugular with these, you know what I mean? Like Isaiah, this is future prophecy. Isaiah, the 16th chapter. No, it's Jeremiah. Isaiah 41st. So start at 28. It says, "Hast thou not known? Hast thou not heard that the everlasting power, Yahweh, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary, neither is no searching of his understanding. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increaseth strength." That's literal. Like literal power. And then you start reading about King David. Then you start reading about Samson, then Elisha, what the apostles were able to do. Yahweh Shai had all them powers, and, it just is incredible. And it says, "Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength, and they shall mount up with wings as eagles, and they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." So when you read between this, the Lord is going to renew their strength, and they shall mount up with wings as eagles, and being able to have the ability to fly. So I'm like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Like Israelite men are going to be able to fly at some point. Like, what is that? Like, I always wanted to be able to fly. You know what I'm saying? So all my greatest imaginations and everything that I always wanted to do, like, I have a younger mindset still. Like, you know what I mean? Like, You know, I don't look at power like, oh, I'm a grown man now, so I shouldn't be, be fantasizing about stuff like that. You absolutely tripping. I would love to be able to fly. You tripping. Ain't going nowhere. Turns out flight is real. That's going to really come at some point through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. Then when you keep on reading, it says they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. That is what you call unlimited and unstoppable endurance. If you can run and not be weary, that means you can pull a whole lot of power in your legs, and no lactic acid buildup will come in there, and then you can be able to run fast as shit for a very, very, very long time. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be able to run and not get tired. Imagine being able to sprint for long periods of time. Like, what is that? Like, how, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not get tired and be able to run and not get tired. That is crazy to me. It's unbelievable. Now, here's another thing. Isaiah 41. It says, verse 13, it says, For I, the Lord, thy power, will hold thy right hand, saying to thee, fear not, I will help thee. There will be a time frame coming up in the near future called Jacob's trouble, where like a time never seen before. A lot of brothers will talk about spiritual power. Well, yeah, like my brother Ariah would talk about, like in that time frame, to be able to be in a place where you're not, where it's going to be like a time never seen before. Like my brother Ariah would say, in order to survive something like that, you're going to need divine intervention. You're not going to be able to, survive in a place like that, like a purge worldwide, or in that case of scenario, you're going to need some type of like help, like Samson did or David. It says, fear not thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth, and thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shalt make the hills chaff. Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them, and thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, and shalt glory in the Holy One of Israel. Hey, listen, brothers gonna have power like you never understood. It's gonna be some Marvel, Dragon Ball Z, DC type crazy shit going on out here. Brothers gonna be flying around, gonna be able to whoop ass. Like, matter of fact, look, when King David was on the scene doing his thing, obviously we know that King David was able to killed like 10,000 people himself, right? Samson killed like 1,000 himself with a jaw of a bone of a jaw of an ass, right? Right? So you got to think like this. Like, okay, how are you able to defeat so many men at one time? You got to think in real life, right? You get surrounded by 4 dudes, you're done. Like, it ain't going to probably matter how big you are. Like, 4 men on one guy, most of the time, I'm going to say in the high 90s, you're going to take an L. Let alone these men of old were able to do it in hundreds of men at one time. Hundreds of men at one time. What type of, listen, when David and Samson was doing stuff like that, and also David's mighty men, 144:1, it says, blessed be the Lord, my strength, with which teaches my hands to war and my fingers to fight. Now, if David was able to slaughter 10,000 men by himself, what type of fighting ability is that the Lord taught David how to do? Like, you have to understand, being able to conquer and destroy 50 to 100 men, let alone more, like 50 is way too much. Way too much. Like 10 men is way too much. 5 men is way too much. Being able to take out so many men by yourself, you have to understand that's some Neo Matrix Reloaded shit. Like, what type of instincts, reflexes, power, strength, speed, agility, acceleration, blocking ability, like evasiveness, like What type of abilities is that to be able to whip all the men's ass like that by yourself? Like, what does that look like? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, you're not about to. You see where I'm going with this? Like, yo, okay, look. Matter of fact, let's just make this even. Psalms 18, right? Psalms 18, starting at like I believe like 29. This is David, right? It says, "For by thee." Let me see. Let me start at Look at David, man. David was a bad boy. It says, it says, start at 29. For by thee I have run through a troop, and by my power I have leaped over a wall. You have to look. You have to understand the walls back then was like 40, 50 feet high. David was able to leap over a wall and run through a troop. Yo. Okay. So David just said he ran through a troop and he, matter of fact, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Mm, Gotta be like, let me see. Let me see. Wall Jericho could be a good indication. 26, approximately 3.6 meters, 12 feet thick at the base, indicate that it have reached heights of 8 to 9 meters or 26 to 30 feet tall walls. And David was able to jump over stuff like that. Like, come on, like that is crazy. And then let's look at this. Let's look at this. How many men is in a troop? How many men are in a troop? A troop in military terms is roughly equivalent to an infantry platoon, meaning it typically consists of about 20 to 50 soldiers, depending on specific branch. 20 to 50 soldiers. So when we go into the scriptures, David was taught by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua weapons of war and fingers to fight, right? And it says for by thee I have run through a troop, 20 to 50 soldiers, even at this time. And by my power, I have leaped over a wall, which can range up to 20 to 30 feet tall walls. Who can do that? Then it says, as for Yahweh, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust him. For who is Yahweh save the word? Who is a rock saves our power? It is Yahweh that girdeth me with strength and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds feet and setteth me upon high places. Meaning he can jump and he can jump and leap and be very swift. Right? Then it says, he teaches my hands to war so that a bow of steel is broken by my arms. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now this is getting real crazy. So this boy was able to break steel. He was able to break steel with his arms, big dog. Like, you know how strong and hard steel is? And he can break steel with his arms? What type of power is that? Like, what is going on? Like, how is that possible? This boy was out of control, just gifted with these powers that how are you able to do that? Like, who can do that? Who can do that? Then you got to look at stuff like Luke 10 and 19. Look at this. It says, behold, this is Yahweh Shah speaking. He says, behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Yo, when this come back on the scene, we're talking about Superman invulnerability shit. Unstoppable. Like nothing is going to be able to hit you. There ain't going to be no bullet, no grenade, no IED, no bombs, no nothing is going to be able to stop you. Yo, men of the Lord are going to have powers like you never understood. It's going to be some Marvel shit out of, it's going to be buck wild out here when you start seeing these balls move like the way they going to move. It's going to get real crazy. And then when you talk about, super speed, right? Look at, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3. It says, as gold, verse 6 and 7 the point, as gold in the furnace have he tried them and received them as a burnt offering, right? Because we're fishers right now. We're going through the storm and we're holding up our mantle and taking our cross like Yahweh Shah did, in our own little way. And it says, in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. Wait a minute. You know how fast, you ever see when metal is like a chainsaw, hits metal or a cement and the sparks that fly out from it. See how fast they shoot out? That's what it's getting into. Like, they're going to be running to and fro like sparks among the stubble. You know how fast that is? Not to mention, you're going to be able to run full speed and not get tired, like it says in Isaiah. You got to understand, this is out of control. These are the precepts that I was hearing that I was able to see and look up and be like, this is insane. Lord willing, I would love to have powers like these. Flight, super speed, strength, break still with your arm, jump over 20, 30 feet walls. What in the world is that? Then you got to look at, I'm going to end off with this one. Zechariah 12 and 8. Watch this. Zechariah 12 and 8. It says, in that day shall the Lord defend the heavens of Jerusalem. You got to remember, there's going to be a time frame called Jacob's trouble, like the world has never seen since mankind history. It's going to be a real messed up situation. And it says, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. He that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. I just read to you how David was moving through a troop, breaking still with his arms, you know what I mean? Being super agile and have hinds feet to do whatever, to go on high places like he Assassin's Creed or Spider-Man or some crazy shit. And then it says he ran through a troop, and it says, it shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. So brothers are going to be gifted like David and be as a power like the Lord, like the angel of the Lord before them. So we're going to be like human-like angel powers on the earth, getting busy when the time comes. Hey, listen, brothers. That is the most, when I first ran into this stuff, I was so impressed and so I couldn't, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I was like, what am I reading? I couldn't believe this is in the Bible. I'm like, yo, there's no way in the world this is about to really go down. There's going to be brothers going to get spiritual power. Matter of fact, I'm going to end off with this, because we know Yahweh Shah had powers already too. So when you go to John, right? I think it's John 14. Is it John 14? It says, Yahweh Shah, number 9. Verse 12. Verse 11. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believe on me, the works that I do, he shall do also. We already know Yahweh Shah had powers, crazy teleportation, raising the dead, healing the sick. He know the whole Bible. He is the he was just doing all kinds of miracles that were just feeding hundreds of people with fish, with a little bit of fish and bread. This boy was wild. Yahweh Shah was insane with his powers. And we know he was a bad man with powers. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believe on me, the works that I do, he shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. So he just literally said, he already know, and we know that he a bad man with them powers he had. He's also telling you that there's gonna come a time where you're gonna be able to do the things that I do, and the things that I do, you're gonna be able to do them better than I did. What? So you the baddest boy on the planet that ever existed with powers, and you're saying that Lord will I could be a part of that number, but our people of the 144,000, whoever they are, there's going to be men going to get power like you had, but better than you had. Come on, bro. Like, that is incredible. That is the most incredible shit I've ever ran across. Like, I was like, wow, I'm blown away. Look, brothers, spiritual power is coming in a full effect again. I had to bring that back out because that's how I even got in this truth, man. I brought this out as edifying to you, brothers, Lord willing. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Bahara Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders learn the truth from. Blessing to the Akimadir preaching his word with whole heart, true sincerity. Blessed 144,000, one third entirely the elect, the first fruits kingdom of heaven, house of David, the Biaf Dawadah, and Shalom, brothers out there speaking different tongues and looking different nations. Shalom to you, brothers.